our campaign. Beyond that, if people are interested in joining with us, we have a growing group of supporters, again, all over the country, as well as in our district, that are willing to help us at the grassroots level, make signs, talk to people, get other people to our fundraisers, get people to town halls. It's very Ron Paul-esque in nature, what we're doing. So
well, that's how revolutions really happen. I mean, look at what happened with SOPA on the internet just the other day. All these websites blacking out, all the protests on Twitter and Facebook everywhere. That wasn't centrally organized. It was spontaneous from the people.
That's right. That's exactly right. And there's a consciousness taking place where more and more people are waking up to the tenets of liberty. And I don't care what political party affiliation you are, how much income you have. I don't care. We the people are waking up. Freedom is not an American thing. It's a human thing. And I think that we're going to enter a very interesting time in 2012, and I'm very excited to be a part of it and see so many more people engaging in the process of speaking out and actually being actionable.
You know, it's interesting that people like you are coming out of the woodwork in a good way. I mean, you're rising up, you're rising to the surface and seeking positions of influence, as you should, because it's in response to the tyranny that we're seeing in Washington. It's a backlash against the NDAA and the Enemy Expatriation Act and the destruction of the Bill of Rights. I mean, is that how? I mean, I don't want to call you a reactionary candidate, but you're certainly a revolutionary candidate.
Sure. Well, I've been personally impacted by government. I have a small business in Pueblo County and had a couple of experiences, which I wrote about, with my local government and how they treated me. And you know what? I feel like an enemy. When I drive on I-25, if I have expired license plates, all of a sudden I feel like an enemy.
Now, Tisha, hang on there. We're going to break right now, but will you stay with us so that we can continue on the other side of this break?
Sure, sure.
All right, folks. Alex Jones here. Alex Jones Show here. Mike Adams filling in with Tisha Casida. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Yeah, we're joined by Tisha Casida. She corrected me in the break about how I was pronouncing her name. Anyway, our website is Casida is the Spanish pronunciation, Casida2012.com. And she is a big Ron Paul supporter, and I wanted to ask for her comments on what happened in the debates last night. They were denying Ron Paul so much airtime. I mean, they were you know how the mainstream media operates. They were shutting him down, giving all the time to everybody else. The audience got fed up with it, and the audience started booing the moderators. Let's go to that clip so you can listen in.
My point is if another country does to us what we do others, we're not going to like it very much. So I would say that maybe we ought to consider a golden rule in foreign policy. Don't do to other nations what we don't want to have them do to us. So we endlessly bomb these countries, and then we wonder why they get upset with us.
Common sense question.
And yet it continues on and on. I mean, this idea that we can't debate foreign policy, that all we have to do is start another war. I mean, it's warmongering. They're building up for another war against Iran, and people can't wait to get in another war. This country doesn't need another war. We need to quit the ones we're in. We need to save the money and bring our troops home.
Governor Romney.
You see how they were trying to cut his airtime there?
Is if another country does to us what we do others, we're not going to like it very much. So I would say that maybe we ought to consider a golden rule in foreign policy. Don't do to other nations.
That's the same. You can go ahead and stop that. The golden rule suggestion by Ron Paul. It makes total sense. What do you think about that, Tisha?
Well, about when he got booed for mentioning the golden rule for foreign policy, that was a scary point for me. I think it's very frightening that people I put on, one of my comments to that is, people who want war have not experienced war.
Right.
I've seen it. I was married to someone for a period of time who was a trooper, and right before 9/11, pre-Iraq, and then after Iraq, and it was horrible what I saw in these young men. And I think it's scary that we have people that want us to go and do more of this, not to mention the innocent lives that we're taking.
Well, the whole thing is insane, but you saw there that some of the audience, they've been indoctrinated by the mainstream media with this idea that we got to go bomb Iran, that we got to go nuke countries and kill people, and that's manly, and that's macho, and that's American, and that's patriotic. I think that's nonsense. I agree with Ron Paul. I mean, how can we expect to have peace if we keep dropping bombs on everybody else first?
Yep, that's exactly right. It's just a couple of pills we're being fed, and we need to stop taking them. Because if you look again, it's this whole fear thing. Don't act in fear. Look around. Stop watching that box. Go outside and look around you. Are you at war? Are you at war when you go outside? No, you're not. No, we're not. We need to bring our troops back home and protect our borders and protect our people and stop killing innocent people, period.
No, but people have been brainwashed into thinking that there are imaginary terrorists hiding around every corner like they have imaginary friends when they were kids or leprechauns and fairies running around. I mean, you know, they think that there might be terrorists hiding in your underwear, and that's why the TSA can search down there at the airport. It's insane.
Yep. Well, it's that we're not looking at the taproot of the problem, and the taproot of the problem is that we're trying to be the world's policemen, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. That's how empires fall. This has happened before. You can just look at history. What we need to do is we need to have sound currency. We need to fix our own economic problems here at home. And the only thing that can create, we talk about creating democracy. We don't want to create democracy. We want to have republics. If anything, if we helped other nations, it should be republics, not democracies, just like our own country is supposed to be a republic. But what we need to do is focus on our own republic first. Period. Period.
Exactly. Well, good points there from you, Tisha, and I want to wish you the best with your campaign. And if you want to help Tisha Casida get elected, folks, check out our website, Casida 2012 or Casida 2012, might make it easier to spell. And she does, her success there will have implications nationwide. And Tisha, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mike. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. I appreciate your comments. Now, you know, I can imagine if we do get into war with Iran, you know, and Ron Paul doesn't get elected president, I can just see now the bumper stickers in the year 2015 will say, I should have voted for Ron Paul. Because now we're in another war. Now we got more family members dead. Now our economy's tanking even more because gas prices are through the roof because of the oil embargo and the Strait of Hormuz and all of that. In fact, we're going to have Bob Chapman on in the third hour. I'm going to ask him about these same questions to see what his take is on them. We got a lot more ahead right here on the Alex Jones Show, including an interview with Ed Group, detoxing aluminum out of your body. That and much more straight ahead. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. Yeah, and we're back on this beautiful Friday here on the Alex Jones Show. This is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, filling in. And joining us in studio for this segment is none other than Dr. Edward Group III. He's the founder and creator of Global Healing Center. He's going to be talking to us about aluminum detox and many other interesting topics. He's a super smart guy, a genius of alternative medicine and healing. I'm very happy to have him here today. I had to beg him. I just had to beg him to get in here. And we'll go to him in just a second. But first, a couple things. In about half an hour or so, 40 minutes, Alex is going to chime in with his own video that he's been recording this morning. He's got, it's called The Internet Wars Have Begun. And this is going to be about SOPA. It's about Anonymous. It's about the Department of Justice, and you won't want to miss that. So stay tuned for that. Also, want to mention, we got to, as you know, fund the operation here. You know I'm a big fan of Enerfood. So I'm going to give them a little plug here. Enerfood right now, they got a great special going on. This is a superfood that I really enjoy. It's super high end. It's one of the few superfoods I've ever actually given an editor's award to. And I gave that award out several years ago before they were even a sponsor here on the InfoWars network. Right now, you can call today at 866-762-9238. And you can get up to 25% off depending on how much you buy. That number again is 866-762-9238. That special ends today. So if you want to take advantage of that Interfood special here on the InfoWars network, call that number. Tell them Health Ranger sent you. I like this product. It's great. Now, continuing on the health on the health subject. We are joined right now by Dr. Ed Group from Global Healing Center. Ed, thanks for joining me today.
It's great to be on. I'm a big fan of the show.
You are, yeah. You listen to Alex Jones quite a lot.
I've been listening to Alex Jones for years and been involved in, the eugenics of what's going on with the population. And, when you asked me to speak about aluminum, it's crazy the amount of aluminum people are exposed to right now, especially since they're spraying about 20 million tons of it in the air. And they're spraying nanoparticles of aluminum, and that's actually converting or taking away the natural ozone that cleanses the air. And the reason why those chemtrails start looking white is because it converts to aluminum oxide, and now it's coming down and falling all over the snow, the rain, everything. There's
a geoengineering agenda here that InfoWars has exposed, and Aaron Dykes did some great work on that. But with you here, let's talk about the health implications. First, what are the main sources of aluminum toxicity? And then let's get into the detox strategies that really work.
Well, the main source of aluminum toxicity is coming from the air now, too. You can also inhale it from the shower. When you take a shower through the water, you can inhale it just out by the sea because it's mixing with the salt water. If you notice, they're spraying over the oceans right now because the aluminum mixes with the salts and gets into everything else. But deodorant, lipstick, hemorrhoid products, baking powder. Anytime you go to a restaurant, you eat any type of bread, anything that has to be baked, most likely it has aluminum in it. Aluminum cans that people drink out of, even any type of food wrapping that's wrapped in aluminum. And I was talking about even going to purchase organic foods, and the organic foods and drinks still have aluminum linings in them. So
what we have here, for those on the radio, we have a food bar with an aluminum lining.
Yes.
And this is an organic bar of some kind?
That is a certified organic bar.
So we can still have aluminum even if it's organic?
So we still have aluminum. Yes, we do. And all the cans that are aluminum that are still coated with BPA.
Oh, yeah.
They still
it's a double dose.
That, so it's a double dose, yes.
What else you have there? What other containers?
This was a coconut water, an organic coconut water that has a aluminum lining in it as well. So I mean, even when you think that you're not getting any aluminum in your system, that you're doing good and you're eating organic and you're buying all kinds of organic foods, you still have to understand that you're probably most likely going to be exposed to aluminum.
We got to clean this up afterwards, or Alex is going to think a pack of ravenous wolves came through his office and just started shredding food and leaving wrappers everywhere. Wrappers on the desk. But no, you're exactly right, Ed. Wrappers can have it. You mentioned deodorants. That's another one that a lot of people don't know. But if you look at conventional deodorants, there's an aluminum ingredient right there on the label.
Yes. Aluminum, breast cancer has actually gone up because women put aluminum deodorants in the spray aerosol aluminum deodorants. Right. You can actually breathe it in too, but the aluminum goes straight in, and aluminum is a neurotoxin. One strange thing is aluminum, when it mixes with mercury, if you were to take a drop of mercury and put some aluminum shavings on it, it has a violent reaction.
Really? Can we try that?
I would love to try that.
Let's do it right here.
Video on it that you can actually watch and watch the reaction. But when you have mercury in your mouth and then you're putting aluminum in, or you have mercury in your body and it's going up to your brain and it's mixing with aluminum, cadmium, lead, all the other heavy metals, who knows what type of reactions are taking place and how damaging that is to the body.
Well, but I mentioned that here on a previous show, that much of America today is poisoned with heavy metals and the lighter metals like aluminum. But there's so much brain poisoning that exists today. No wonder people can't realize that Ron Paul makes sense. Enough people. I mean, everybody should realize that we don't want another war. Everybody should realize that we want to control our own money supply and not have the Fed printing trillions of dollars and giving them out to the banksters. I mean, why? Do you agree that part of the metals poisoning explains the insanity?
It's already been proven. I mean, look at the kids that are being diagnosed with autism or attention deficit disorder or hyperactivity disorder. I mean, when you link all the metals together, they're neurological degraders, and it can mess with your thought patterns. It can cause depression. It can cause everything else to happen. I mean, there was a recent interview with teachers all across the United States, and they said that 3/4 or 2/3 to 3/4 of all the students have a chronic respiratory infection and cough right now.
Really?
Yes. The amount of aluminum has gone up from 2006 when they did analysis on the snow water at Mount Shasta. They found about 1,000 micrograms per liter of aluminum. In late 2009, they did a study again. They found 61,000 micrograms per liter of aluminum in the snow water, and the safe level is 0.5 micrograms per liter.
Oh, that's insane.
And the government is supposed to be called for emergency action if any aluminum is found at 1,000 micrograms or more. So that's 60 times the emergency level, and they still haven't been called in.
What is the agenda